Google it, you find the two more things. What are the two more things? The Buddha then said, think of how the animal feels when it has a rope around its neck and is being dragged to the slaughter ground. Think of the pain in its throat. Think of its fear. Think of how it feels before it's slaughtered. That is the full Jiraka Sutta. So the whole thing is about compassion. The Buddha's compassion. The Buddha said, think how the animal feels. And the Buddha left it to Jiraka to figure out by himself. So he also leaves it to us to figure out by ourselves. To what extent do you want to practice compassion? It's really up to us. No forcing. Okay, then eat what? Of course, eat fruits and vegetables, right? So the counter-argument is, what about pesticides? Pesticides kill more insects. They actually do. You eat one chicken, so one chicken. By the way, a meat eater in one lifetime of about 80 years, assuming we live for 80 years, if you're a meat eater, do you know how many animals you have eaten? Now, how I count this is like this. For example, today you eat a chicken thigh, it's not one animal yet. You collect 2 thighs, 2 wings, 1 neck, 1 breast, collect all, that's counted 1. Actually, it's not fair, right? It's not fair, isn't it? Counting that. But I'm counting it like that. So you collect until you finish 1 chicken. Okay, that's 1. A meat eater who lives for about 80 years in his whole lifetime, take a guess. How many animals have you indirectly caused to be killed? How many animals have you eaten? Make a guess. 1,000? 11,000. 11,000. That's about it. 11,000 animals. Again, depends on what kind of animals lah. Chicken means more lah, because they're smaller, right? Cows, pigs will be less. Okay, so roughly that. Alright, the question of pesticides, my answer to that is go organic. Support your local organic farms. That is what I do. Because I don't buy meat. You know how much money you save by not buying meat? You save so much. Believe me, you save so much money if you cut down on the meat. See, because my husband eats meat. My son also likes meat, but I cook. I control, right? So that's how I cut down. My family is vegetarian. My mother, father, brothers, all vegetarian. My husband is not. I got to compromise, right? Yeah, I got to compromise. So I cut down. I cut it down to how much, you know? I cut it down to this much of minced meat. Minced meat. And finally, thanks to that picture, the chick in the burger, my son came up to me, because when I prepare PowerPoints, he sometimes peeps, you know. He saw that picture, he came up to me, Mommy, don't buy any more meat. He instructed me not to buy any more meat. I said, thank you. So I told the father, excuse me, your son says don't buy any more meat. I'm obeying your son. So if my husband wants to eat, he eats outside. Fine. We all go out, he orders meat. We don't eat. Harmonious lah. Huh? Right? It's okay. Unless he buys back with meat, never mind. We're not fussy about those kind of things. Yeah? We live together in a family, so we have to give and take. So that's what I do. That picture worked. That picture really worked. I had no intention actually. I was just preparing PowerPoints, but my son saw the picture. And after a while he told me, Mommy, please stop buying meat. Are you sure? Yes. Stop. This is no more meat. Don't buy meat. So I don't even have to buy that much minced meat. Okay, so with the money I save, I get to buy organic vegetables. Now, isn't that good? Yeah? At least organic vegetables does not contribute to the killing of pests. Do you know, I had a friend who follows a Taiwanese teacher. He belongs to the Chinese Buddhism. He follows a Taiwanese teacher, and the Taiwanese monk told him, eat organic. Told all the devotees to eat organic. Reason? We don't want to contribute to the killing of insects. So the devotees of that sect, that group of people, that school of thought, have been instructed to eat all organic. And because his monk told him, he follows. See? Okay, some people are very, they get split hairs. What about killing viruses and bacteria? Don't worry, because viruses and bacteria are not sentient beings. You see the 31 realms I showed you last week? Did you see viruses and bacteria? They're not. Viruses are not living things. They are things. They are these things. That nuisance. But they are not living things, you know. Ask the science teacher. They're not living things. So viruses, don't worry. Because your body gets rid of them, right? You know there's a little Pac-Man in your body. They eat up the leukocytes. They eat up the viruses and the bacteria. So these two are not sentient. Parasites are sentient. Worms are sentient. Ticks are sentient. They have consciousness. These are not. So don't worry about if you have to take antibiotics, take. Don't worry, okay? They are not sentient. So the next question, is it more heinous to kill a human than an ant? What is the answer? Life is precious to all. So it's equal lah. Right? It's equal. But you hear sometimes people say, no, it's more heinous to kill a human. Why? Who says a human is more precious? The Buddha just said life is dear to all, right? Life is dear to all, so it's equal. Now the reason some people tell you that it's more heinous to kill a human is this. To kill a human requires a lot of hatred. Right? So the bad karma generated may be more. If you want to kill a human, it seems so easy, take a knife, that's it. You must be a psychopath if you do that. Yeah? If you really want to kill a human, you must have so much hatred. You must scheme and plan your murder and carry it out. You have so much hatred to do that. So in the process of carrying out that murder, you generate so much bad karma. In that way, it's more heinous. But to kill an ant, ignorant people, for example, just angry, wow, so many ants take the cloth and wipe it all up. You know, the amount of anger is that moment only. In that way, the unwholesome karma is less. But it doesn't mean a human is more precious than an ant. It doesn't. Because one day the Buddha was walking and he saw this man about to slaughter a whole lot of animals. So he asked the man, what are you doing? And the man said, I'm going to slaughter these as sacrifice for the gods. Some other Indian religion was a Brahmin. So he's doing sacrifice of animals to please the gods. Then the Buddha asked him, in your religion, is a human more precious than the animals? The Brahmin said, of course. Of course a human is more precious. Do you think your gods will be happier if he gets a human life? Because it's more precious. Then the Brahmin said, yes, then take my life. The Buddha offered himself. The Buddha was willing to sacrifice his own life for the sake of those animals. So that answers your question. Life is dear to all. Metta, no discrimination, no exception. This is another area that involves indirect killing that we sometimes don't think about. This is an area where there is so much cruelty. The people who do this are of course breaking the precepts. Then we are the consumers, right? So animal testing is extremely cruel. So these little animals, you see those rabbits caught in those stereotaxic devices, they are caught there because they are used for testing cosmetics, skincare products, eyeshadow, lipstick, and creams, moisturizers, stuff like that. So what they do is, at the testing level, when it's being manufactured, they drop it into their eyes to test for sensitivity. Drop it into the eyes. The eyes is the most sensitive area, right? They drop it into the eyes. Of course, they get blinded, or worse, they suffer intense pain. So they keep improving the product until it's declared safe for humans. It's declared safe for humans after it's been tested. How many rounds? So it's tested on animals, guinea pigs, monkeys, stray dogs, stray cats. Anything they can capture, they will test. Alright, in a few years back, in the year 2003, in UK, they conducted 3 million tests to check the validity of animal testing. Is it valid?